One of the most energy-draining and futile things humans do is try to change others according to their own expectations. The Taoist philosopher Zhuangzi tells a short story in his chapter, Supreme Joy. Once, a seabird landed just outside the capital of the state of Lu. The Marquis of Lu believed it was a divine bird, so he solemnly welcomed it into the royal temple. He offered it fine wine, played the sacred music for its enjoyment, and served it the grand sacrificial feast, provided the same food offered to the gods of land and grain. Yet, the bird was dazed and overwhelmed, filled with sorrow and fear. It dared not eat a single piece of meat or drink a single drop of wine. In just 3 days, it died of despair. This is treating a bird the way one would treat a human, not the way one should treat a bird. To truly care for a bird, you should let it nest in deep forest, wander freely along sandy islets, float on rivers and lakes, peck at mudfish and small fish, fly and rest with its flock, and live in complete freedom and ease. Birds hate the sound of human voices most of all. Why then torment it with such noisy clamor? If sacred music were played in the open wilderness, birds would fly away at the sound, wild animals would flee, fish would dive deep into the water, yet humans alone would gather around to listen and delight in it. Fish can only live in water. Humans drown in it. Since the natures of humans and fish are different, their likes and dislikes naturally differ too. The tragedy of that seabird is nothing less than the daily version of human relationships. The Marquis of Lu thought exactly like this. I live in a palace. I listen to heavenly music. I feast on the grandest offerings. And I'm happy beyond words. So if I bring you into the same world, you'll surely be just as ecstatic. What he never understood was, the bird's sky is not a palace hall. It's the boundless sea and open heavens. The bird's delicacies are not sacrificial oxen and sheep. They're mud skippers and tiny fish. The bird's music is not orchestral splendor. It's the sound of wind over waves and the cry of its flock. He murdered the bird's simple, everyday joy with what he believed was ultimate bliss. And all the while, he still saw himself as supremely kind and generous. Isn't this exactly what we do every single day? Everything in the universe follows its own natural law. Every living being has its innate nature. The most natural happiness comes from honoring that nature. Just like the seabird in the fable, meant to nest in deep forests, drift over sandy islets, glide across rivers and lakes, and peck at little fish and mud skippers, that is pure, effortless freedom. Violate its nature, and even the highest human honor becomes torture. This teaches us true love and respect never drag someone into your own world. They let the other person breathe freely in the world that truly belongs to them. There are no two identical leaves in the world, and no two identical human beings. Some love mountains, some love the sea, some are quiet as orchids, some burn bright as fireworks, some excel at logic, others at feeling. When we ignore these differences and force our own standards onto others, both sides suffer. Parents push children down paths they themselves never took. Partners demand the other become their ideal version. Bosses expect every employee to come from the same mold. In the end, everyone is wounded, just like the Marquis of Lu, who poured all his care into the bird, only to be left with a small, cold corpse. The truly wise way to live with others is to see differences, respect differences, and help each person flourish in their own way. Put the right person in the right place and let everyone do what they were born to do. That is the only real win-win. The ancient sages never demanded that everyone become a dragon or phoenix. They simply asked each person to fulfill their own talent. A marathon champion doesn't need to play the piano. A piano master doesn't need to lift barbells. The most exhausting and futile thing a human can do is try to reshape others according to their own template. The wiser you are, the more you practice teaching according to aptitude and acting in harmony with nature. You don't force night owls to become early birds or introverts to become social butterflies. People with the broadest vision understand this clearest of all. The right position is far more precious than forced excellence. Placing the right person in the right place will always matter more than turning anyone into a perfect human being. What exactly does Wu Wei mean? It's not doing nothing at all. It's not forcing, not acting willfully. It means refusing to twist the natural course of things just to satisfy your own subjective desires. It means never shoving your personal script onto heaven and earth, onto other people, or even onto yourself. Lao Tzu said, "Humanity follows the earth follows heaven. Heaven follows the Tao, and the Tao follows only nature." The highest principle of action is simply to imitate nature itself. Spring sprouts, summer grows, autumn harvests, winter stores. No rushing, no dawdling. Rivers always flow downward, yet they carve through mountains and split stone. A great tree never strains to grow taller, yet after 100 years, it towers into the sky. This is Wu Wei, allowing every event, every person, every moment in time to grow and unfold according to its own inherent momentum. What is the greatest happiness? Zhuangzi tells us there are two kinds of joy. The first he calls human joy. It depends on things outside yourself, on other people, applause, money, fine food, beautiful wine. This is what most of us chase for an entire lifetime. The second he calls heavenly joy. It is the quiet bliss that arises when a person lives in complete harmony with heaven, earth, and nature. It needs nothing external, expects nothing from others. The mind is clear as a mirror, calm as still water. Then Zhuangzi goes one step further and says, the supreme joy is joyless. The highest happiness doesn't look like happiness at all. It asks for no music, no feast, no praise. It simply appears silently when you open the window at dawn and feel the first ray of light on your face, when you sit alone on a mountain listening to the wind move through the pines, when the night is deep and your heart is as still as a moonlit lake. That is the deep peace that flows when your true nature is fully unfolded. That is breathing in unison with the great way, vibrating at the same frequency as all things. In that moment, you don't need anything to prove you are alive, because you yourself have already become the most natural miracle in the universe.